Welcome to the Justice Pro Network's Daily Deep Dive in 5, your quick take on advocacy, impact, and justice. I'm Aisha.
And I'm Aiden. We're here to bring you the latest insights directly from the Justice Pro Network, cutting through the noise to get to what truly matters. Today, we're diving into some pretty significant polling data that's got political watchers and legal advocates talking.
That's right. New polling shows Trump's approval ratings have dropped to just 37% overall. But Aiden, what really caught my attention was that gender divide we're seeing.
Absolutely. The numbers tell a stark story. Only 29% of women approve compared to 46% of men. That's a 17-point gender gap, which is massive in political terms.
What's particularly striking about this gender gap is how it compares to historical patterns. We've seen gender gaps before, but 17 points is really significant. It suggests women are responding differently to current policy approaches, especially around reproductive rights and healthcare access.
And that has real implications for civil rights attorneys working on reproductive freedom cases. When you see numbers like these, it often translates to more sympathetic juries and judges who are attuned to public sentiment on these issues.
And when we break down the policy areas, it gets even more interesting. On crime, he's sitting at 42% approval and the economy at 39%. Those are traditionally strong areas for him. The demographic breakdown is fascinating too. Among college-educated voters, approval drops to just 31%, while rural voters still show 48% approval. But even in traditionally red states, we're seeing suburban areas shifting significantly.
That suburban shift is crucial for attorneys working on local ordinance challenges and zoning issues. When suburban communities are questioning federal approaches, there's often more openness to progressive legal arguments at the municipal level. But here's where it gets really concerning for his camp. 52% distrust his handling of the Ukraine situation. And the Epstein files issue? A whopping 67% disapprove of how that's being handled.
Let's dig deeper into those transparency numbers. The 67% disapproval on the Epstein files handling isn't just about one issue. It reflects a broader concern about government accountability that we're seeing across multiple policy areas.
Exactly. This creates a much more favorable environment for Freedom of Information Act litigation and transparency lawsuits. When 2/3 of the public wants more openness, courts are more likely to side with plaintiffs pushing for disclosure.
From a historical perspective, these approval numbers remind me of similar periods where public sentiment drove significant legal and policy changes. We saw this during Watergate and again during various civil rights movements. When public trust erodes this significantly, it often creates momentum for reform.
That's a great point, and it gives attorneys a roadmap for how to leverage public sentiment strategically. Class action suits, amicus briefs from community groups, and public interest litigation all become more powerful tools when backed by this kind of polling data.
Those transparency and accountability issues really seem to be resonating with voters. Now, from a legal advocacy perspective, what does this mean for civil rights and immigration attorneys?
Well, these numbers suggest there might be more public support for pushing back on policies that target vulnerable communities. When approval ratings are this low, especially among women and younger voters, there's often more appetite for legal challenges and advocacy work.
Exactly. Immigration attorneys in particular might find courts and communities more receptive to arguments about due process and humanitarian concerns when public sentiment is shifting this way. And it's not just immigration law. Employment attorneys working on discrimination cases, environmental lawyers challenging regulatory rollbacks, and even criminal defense attorneys are finding more receptive audiences when public confidence in institutional fairness is this low.
What's particularly important for our listeners to understand is that these polling shifts often predict changes in judicial appointments and legal precedents. When public opinion moves this decisively, it influences everything from jury selection to appellate court decisions.
So, for attorneys listening today, consider how you can incorporate these public sentiment trends into your case strategy. Community polling data can strengthen your arguments, and understanding these demographic splits can help with venue selection and jury preparation.
And keep an eye on how these numbers evolve over the next few months. Sustained low approval ratings often lead to more aggressive policy pushbacks and increased litigation activity. This could be the beginning of a significant shift in the legal landscape. It's a reminder that public opinion can be a powerful tool for justice advocates. When people see accountability issues, they're more likely to support legal efforts for transparency and reform.
That's our deep dive for today. Keep advocating, keep fighting for justice, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us on the Justice Pro Network's Daily Deep Dive in 5.